Hi guys, I'm Mike.
And I'm Stephen.
And this is Indy Fanatics, your home for IndyCar content with weekly podcasts and feature videos. Welcome back to the channel, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the IndyCar Podcast. And it is an action-packed podcast for you today, because we're going to be like, bam, bam, fighting each other.
Jesus, don't attack me.
No. It's because we've got to review the season opener at Barber and obviously look ahead to this weekend's action at St Pete, because the start of the season for us is going to be thick and fast, because it's going to be review, preview. Exactly. Right. Anyway, but as usual, when we have images coming up on screen, to kind of add to the depth of this, we actually very lucky. We had Robbie Noonan, who I conversed with on kind of Instagram, kind of aspiring young kind of sporting photographer, took some brilliant pictures from the weekend at Barber. So obviously I will leave a link in the description to his Instagram and a watermark on his pictures when they are shown on screen as well. So look out for those. There were some great snaps.
Great, very nice images.
Exactly, from the weekend's action. But let's jump straight into it, because we got a lot to round up and we'll try and make it as concise as possible for you guys from that aspect. But qualifying, Stephen, you're going to start us off.
Bam, yes. Q1, the only thing to mention, Jimmy wasn't last. Managed to beat Dalton Keller on outright pace. Bam, fantastic. On to Q2. Roman Grosjean, so close to the fast six, coming in 7th. It was his first time on those sticker reds. So very impressive performance from him. And then Q1, Pato got pole. But very strong showing from Chip Ganassi as well. 3 cars in fast six. Obviously be very disappointed that none of them actually got on the front row, because Alexander Rossi joined Pato on the front row. But Alex Palou, the quickest of the Chip Ganassis, and put him in prime time for the race.
Certainly did. And obviously for you IndyCar fans watching when Steve was going Q1, Q2, Q3, obviously our F1 background, we go on there. So, but I know it's technically round 1, round 2. And
I was just going off the commentators. They kept calling it Q1, Q2, Q3.
Well, if they called it Q1, Q2, Q3, bam! That's it. That's in. We're all in. So that was qualifying rounded off, and it looked like, Pato, pace all weekend. Road America last year, almost got a win, finishing P2. Could he, turn that win into a first race win in the IndyCar Series? No. But we're going to start off with... I won't upset Stephen too much. We're going to start off with, obviously, the first major incident on round 1, and 2 guys that we think will be title contenders this year were out. And it was an incident caused by Joseph Newgarden, coming out, I'm not sure what turn it was, but he got a little bit loose, got onto the grass, spun around and basically caused a massive pile-up, taking Ryan Hunter-Reay. Also, a note to the aero screen in that, the footage from post-race showing, the aero screen probably saved Ryan Hunter-Reay's life in that situation, because the tyre looked bang on to hit him head on. Was crazy. Crash taking out Ryan Hunter-Reay. Colton Herta, did he get back in the race in the end? He did get back in the end, but that pretty much ruined his race. Not many points, but at least he was able to score the 5 points available for him. Although, where did he finish? He might have got more.
He was rock class.
Because I'm not sure there were 25 cars into it, which means he might have scored 6, 7. Well, he was a low point scorer from the day regardless. He got some. Yeah, he managed it, but obviously no points for Joseph Newgarden, and a rare mistake from a guy who's so good at Barber. Obviously, in our preview, he's the most successful driver at the circuit.
First career win at Barber.
Yeah, and it was crazy to see it unfold the way it did. So pressure on for Joseph Newgarden there. But
it is.
If there's anyone who comes back from those sort of things, it's Joseph Newgarden.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Pato?
Pato. The race was strategy. It was all about strategy. It was the 3-stop versus the 2-stop. You had Pato and Alexander Rossi, the ones of note, leading the way for the 3-stop. And then you had Alex Palou, Will Power, and Scott Dixon leading the way for the two-stop. And the two-stop came out on top. Rossi and Pato couldn't make the tyres last, forcing them into the aero stop, free stop. And it just turns out making less stops was the way to go. As the podium we'll come on to.
Well, was all guys who were on the three stops, actually, which was Alex Palou winning his first ever race, Will Power chasing him down at the end, and Scott Dixon doing what Scott Dixon does is, if he can't win, it's damage limitation in the championship, and a great start to the season for Scott, because he didn't really seem to have great pace. He definitely wasn't the quickest Chip Ganassi. Palou was definitely the quickest Chip Ganassi car all weekend, so still getting on the podium is pretty impressive in that situation. And then P4, and to make it worse for Alexander Rossi on the three-stop strategy, Sebastian Bourdais, first kind of full-time race for AJ Foyt Racing. I know obviously he had a couple of races at the back end of the 2020 season for the team, but really impressive performance for him, getting in the top 5, going into St. Pete. He's going to feel really confident at getting another good result because he got a P4 at the back end of last season as well. So proving, as you said, Dalton Kellogg, maybe the pace wasn't there. At least AJ Foyt have a competitive ride in Sebastian Bourdais, who's going to compete up with...
At the front end of the field.
At the front end of the field. Oh, Dalton, there's time. There's time. There's time. But I suppose another quick note, Rinus VK was very impressive because he was involved in that collision at the start with Newgarden and somehow managed to do it there. And a shout out to Graham Rahal. I'll get on to the podium in a sec. But Graham Rahal, I think, went from 18th to P7. So a great result for him.
Sure, give him a shout out.
I think it was a great race. Right, back onto the main one. Alex Palou, Will Power kind of left it too late, hoarding all his push to pass for the last kind of lap and a half, but it wasn't enough. It's a difficult circuit to overtake on at Barber, and Palou just literally, after struggling on that first stint, getting to the 30 laps so he could do the two-stop race. After that, it was pretty much a flawless race from the young Spaniard. He is a debut winner for Chip Ganassi. That's his first win in the season. He is the third driver to win on his debut for Chip Ganassi after Michael Andretti in 1994 and Dan Weldon in 2006. So very impressive. And, he went under the radar for us.
Yeah.
He was competitive in the iRacing Challenge, wasn't he? He won Montreal and came second in Sebring. We saw in Road America where he got his best result for Del Coyne last year. Road courses, Alex Palou's bread and butter, and he delivered and he performed. And
but the question is, can he maintain it?
That is the main question. It is. It's a fantastic start. It's the dreams. You can't start much better. You won the race. Only if he got pole to race would have been a better result.
Yes.
By only 1 point. But, it was a fantastic result for him. But yeah, it will mean nothing if he can't build on it and keep it going through the season.
But definitely putting his name in there for the championship battle.
Absolutely. But that is Barber. Obviously, that was a quick roundup. We could have gone into a lot more detail, but we've got to look ahead to this action at St. Petersburg. So do let us know in the comments down below your thoughts from the race. Star performers. I saw Grosjean being mentioned. Very impressive. Rookie finishing P10 in the end. But, considering qualifying P7, finishing P10 in his first IndyCar race for Del Coyne. Pretty good.
Not bad.
With Rick Ware Racing. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers it.
On to the streets of St. Pete.
We got it. Streets of St. Pete. So stats, as always, we'll start off with, and then Stephen, I'll let you start off with your thoughts. So, as a circuit, the race at St. Petersburg was first held in 1985, but it would be not until 2003 in the Champ Car World Series that it made the American open wheel debut. In 2004, it wouldn't be on the calendar due to obviously promotional issues, karts going bust and everything, and that was, all up in the air. But it moved to the IndyCar Series, obviously the IRL at the time, in 2005, becoming the first non-oval track on the calendar. And it has been on the IndyCar IRL calendar ever since. The most successful driver is Helio Castro-Neves with 3 wins, his last coming in 2012, and it is no surprise again that the most successful team in the series is Team Penske, having dominated the race since 2005, winning 62.5% of the Grand Prix. Sim, thoughts ahead of this weekend?
Well, last time you told me Team Penske dominated the track they didn't win, and that was with Barber. Obviously, Newgarden winning last year. Penske are very strong there, but the field is so wide open this year. Chip Ganassi are looking very quick. Arrow McLaren, if they just put one good strategy together, they could possibly win a race. And then, Will Power was looking on out, but Joseph Newgarden will be racing angry, maybe.
Angry.
Because he needs to do something special in St. Pete unless he falls too far behind the championship banner.
Well, he's a 2-time winner. And obviously, we've got 17 races, but he's going to need a strong points finish regardless. It's not the end of the world if he doesn't finish in top 3, but I think he will be aiming for a top 3 finish.
Yeah.
Regardless, and ideally the race win. But exciting again. I have no idea who could win this race. Again, it's so early to say. And after that first race in Barber, there are still loads of questions going, well, who's going to be good? And it's massively competitive.
And it's unpredictable around the streets of St. Pete. Just looking at last year, the season finale, what did we have? About 5 race leaders? Mm-hmm. And it's just nuts. 4 of them crashing out.
Yeah, 2 of them crashing out from the lead in Rossi and Power.
Yeah. And then Hinchtown?
Hinchtown!
The mayor of Hinchtown! And Colton Herta also looking very quick there, but also crashing out. There we go. Unpredictable.
Yeah, it is an unpredictable race. But I suppose under the radar, Will Power, very good start for P2. Got pole position there last year. If there's going to be a Team Penske guy who looks strong out the blocks, it looks like Will Power.
Yeah.
So he was the one who qualified best out of the Penske guys in Barber and the only one to make it to the Fast 6. So, if I was going to put money on a Penske guy to win, it would probably be Will Power in this one. I believe he's won once at the circuit before, maybe 2011, but that's just grabbing a number out. Someone correct me. On that aspect.
For sure, though, this time he's not going to have the airbox or whatever he had last time. They put on last minute and ultimately caused the balance issues that caused him to crash.
Yeah, so he definitely will rather overheat in that situation. And for that, but again, proving the Honda and Chevy cars are pretty well close because it went Honda, Chevy in the top 4 at Barber. So, there isn't much to split them on that aspect. Last year's podium was obviously Newgarden, Pato and Dixon. I'll be honest with you, I could see some variation of that podium at St. Pete again this weekend.
Yeah, it's just who survives at the top. And,
Yeah, I don't think championship's going to be won and lost, but, getting these early advantages and finishing high up certainly can help give you a stronger grip on the, trophy at the end of the season. So, okay, we're going to go for winner of the race.
As I've said before, and I will continue to say, Pato.
Until Pato wins, I will keep picking him.
He just looks very quick, and you got to think McLaren have got to get a strategy right at some point. It's got to happen, surely. Just odds-wise. There's only so many races they can get it wrong.
Oh dear. Win for me. I feel Alexander Rossi.
Is this what we said last time?
Genuinely was. I backed Alexander Rossi to win. No, scrap that. I get a correct Will Power to right the wrongs of last year's St. Pete at the end of the season, and he is going to win the race and take the lead in the championship, obviously by finishing P2 and then P1. And that aspect. Star performer is a tough one. I felt like I was going to go for the same one in Sebastian Bourdais, but I'll change it up because he's very strong at St. Pete.
Yeah. Star performer. Okay. I'm thinking. Wait, have you got one?
No. I was going to say Sebastian Bourdais and I just listened to you. No, I'll tell you what. Hinch is going to bounce back, and Hinch is going to be the leading.
Would be an interesting one.
Hinch is going to be the leading Andretti car at St. Pete.
Interesting.
That's bold and a star performer.
Yeah. Well, he did obviously do very well there last year, but had a bit of a mare in Barber. I don't know. Star performer.
Will it be last week's race performer? Will he get back-to-back wins? No, I just said Pato.
I just said Pato. You know what? I'm going to go for... I had his name in my head. Oh my God, it's just gone.
Wait a minute. We just need an intermission while Stephen's brain reboots.
I keep bouncing between people. There's so many people. Star performers, screw it. Simon Pagenaud, he's going to bounce back.
Simon! Okay. Well, that'd be nice because, yeah, it was a little bit on the radar. Not a great performance at Barber for Pagenaud.
Yeah, but I think he snuck into the top 5 in St. Pete season finale.
Okay.
I want to say.
I feel he was top 7, but we'll...
So 7th.
Yes, that would be the one. Top 7th. But yeah, I've been... Okay.
Sorry for the wait on that. I'm just going to go Simon Pagenaud.
Brilliant. Okay, we've got Pagenaud and who did I go for? What a chaos this has turned into. I said Hinchcliffe, didn't I?
Oh, yeah.
James Hinchcliffe. Oh, dear. What a professional preview this is of the GP of St. Pete. Wow, this is what you tune in to watch us go. We're falling apart. And I guess another race where all the rookies are participating. Who is going to...
See, I was thinking of saying Roman Grosjean for the star performer, but then I was like, I remember we do the rookies, and I'm going for Roman Grosjean.
Yeah, I'm going for Roman Grosjean as too. I still think, like he showed, it backed up, I think, my opinion that he has the skill set that at the moment gives him a head start over McLaughlin and Jimmy. Obviously, McLaughlin struggled a little bit at St. Pete.
Yeah, but he's got the most experience at St. Pete. Because didn't he do... Did he take part in a race? No, he wasn't in a race before that.
No, but he was at the back end of last year.
Yeah, but he also did... I swear he did some testing there pre-COVID.
Might have done.
I can't remember.
Might have done.
Maybe not.
No idea.
But he's actually raced there. Obviously did crash out. But yeah.
Yeah, just lost it in turn 1 before collecting Rinus VK. But yeah, again, Jimmy, it's going to take time to go. And I think Jimmy, it's just going to be slow building progress throughout the season. And it was definitely a baptism of fire at Barber. But, he completed the race. He got round. There were clear moments that, he could have gone off and not completed the race. But he did well. And a shout out to Carvana on the dinner because they had nailed the advertising and getting that. They've got picking the Jimmy Johnson cars, and it seemed every 5 minutes we were talking about Jimmy Johnson in the race. And I was like, leave the poor man alone. He doesn't want to be highlighted that
Jimmy
he's running
Johnson,
at the back of the field.
the only man that will be 3 laps down in a race and get so much coverage.
Absolutely.
Dalton Kellett's doing it for years.
2 years. But yeah, okay, on that front. But that is it for our preview of St. Pete. It should be another cracker of a race. Obviously, Barber was a good start to season, a difficult track to overtake on, but it's going to be interesting. A street circuit, they're always difficult tracks to overtake on, but who will gain and build on the early advantage in the championship? Will Scott Dixon do his usual ones of just kind of going under the radar? Will one of our 2 guys win? Or will Newgarden, we didn't even mention Colton Herta, could bounce back in the number 26 Gamebridge car? It's going to be an interesting weekend. And again, I just cannot pick it, and I cannot wait for us to be on track. What a start to season. We just got these like 5 back-to-back races.
Oh, yeah.
It's just full on, and we love it. But if you're new around here or haven't done so already, what can they do, Stephen?
They can like, subscribe, and ding that bell.
Ding it! So for now, you Indy fans, keep racing!